Step on up, sit down, twist off that bottle top or crack open that can, and welcome to Porch Matters. This is Terry Cagle coming to you from my back porch. Yes sir, yes ma'am, the name of this show is authentic. On Porch Matters, our saying is this: big issues or just a friendly conversation. No topic is off limits. We take pride in being able to talk about anything with each other in an open discussion. Open discussion is one of the only ways to learn. Your perspective could be changed. You could change the perspective of others. Friends and family, welcome to another episode of Porch Matters. I'm glad you're here. 2022 is in the rearview mirror. 2023 is now live and in living color. Happy New Year, everybody. I hope everybody had a great Christmas. I hope everybody had a fantastic New Year. Hope nobody got drunk and ended up in jail or anything like that. I hope everything's been smooth so far. If this is your first time listening to Porch Matters, I want to thank you for listening. I hope you enjoy the show. I hope you like, follow, or subscribe on whichever platform you're listening to us on. Sorry for the extended silence. I did step away for a couple of weeks. Folks, burnout is real. I'm not burned out from talking to you. I just want to make that clear, front and foremost. I'm not burnt out on you. I'm just burnt out on everything else. As I've said in a previous show, I've been overwhelmed with a lot of things going on in my life. I'm not making excuses, I'm just stating facts. Or, as Melissa would say, I'm speaking my truth. I love you, Mo. I really hope you took time and shared time with your family during this holiday season. I hope everybody that listened to the last episode that I put out took what I said to heart. Time is the most expensive and the most precious thing that we can give anybody, no matter if it's a holiday season or not. So I really hope everybody took time to spend time with their loved ones, because you never know exactly when it's going to be the last time it is that you're going to get to see them. The company that I work for did their annual shutdown between Christmas and New Year's. I got all my T's crossed and all my I's dotted, just like I said I was going to. Told all my drivers that I was cutting my phone off and wasn't going to cut it back on till January 2nd. And that's what I done. That was almost empowering. I'm just letting you know. We had a real good Christmas. Was able to spend some time with family and got to see all the kids open up their stuff and just had a really good time together. On December 26th, we drove up to Blue Ridge, Georgia on the back roads. That would be me and Stacy, her mom, her dad, and Xander. We had to pick Xander up from his dad. He ended up getting some Christmas money and it was burning a hole in his pocket. The only thing that he could think of was just getting some new controllers for his Nintendo Switch. We stopped at the Walmart around Springville and all they had were green and pink controllers. So we ended up stopping at a Tala. No luck there either. We ended up stopping at Jefferson's in Gadsden to eat. Now, I've talked to y'all about Jefferson's before. I love their ultimate cheese fries. Wings are usually pretty good too. Gadsden's downtown area has built up some. I'm going to have to go back and check it out, and if you've never been, I highly suggest it. While we were at Jefferson's, Stacy started looking around for those controllers at other Walmarts. She ended up finding some purple and orange controllers online at the Walmart at Leesburg. Leesburg was on the way on the route that we were taking, so we ended up stopping by there too. It started snowing on us in Leesburg, and Xander finally got his controllers. We went on through Center into Rome, Georgia, and followed 53 through Shannon and Plainsville, Sonoraville, Fairmount, Ludeville, and Blaine. By the time we got up to Ellijay, the snow had already started sticking to the road good and turning to ice, so it was a slow go, but finally we got up to Blue Ridge around 9 p.m. We ended up spending the night there. The next morning we got on a train and rode an hour up to McCaysville. Now, McCaysville, Georgia, sits right on the Georgia-Tennessee state line. On the Tennessee side, there's a town called Copper Hill, Tennessee. It's all basically the same place. It just happens to be two different towns, and there's a state line that goes right between it. We actually took our picture right on the state line. I thought that area was absolutely gorgeous, and if property wasn't twice as expensive as lake property at Smith Lake, I'd say I'd like to have a vacation spot up there. But yeah, I actually looked around at real estate on the way back. Wow. That's all I'm going to tell you. Wow. We ended up eating up there at the Copperhead Grill. Really enjoyed the food and the atmosphere there. Had a chance to speak with the owner's wife. She was actually working the cash register. Really nice people. If you're ever up around that area, stop in and say hey. We were able to walk around up there for about an hour or two. Not too much. Then we ended up having to get back on the train and go back down to Blue Ridge. Now, I can't, for the life of me, I can't remember the name of the train, but we started out at Blue Ridge and went there. It took an hour, as I said, and the train actually ran at cruising speed of 10 miles an hour. And it was right next to the Tatonga River. I know I butchered that name. But in Georgia, it's the Tatonga. But as soon as you cross over into Tennessee, it actually turns into the Ocoee River. I don't know why the name changes just because the state line changes, but that's the case. It's one of the very few rivers on Earth that actually run north. So, if you're into that sort of thing, highly suggested. It was a really good train ride. Soon as we got back off the train, we headed toward Helen. We took 76 over to Blairsville and then went south on 19. Stacy thought she saw a waterfall, so we had to pull a U-turn at Vogel State Park. We didn't see a waterfall, but decided to check out Vogel State Park anyway. We went on down the road into the park and started seeing people walking on a very large pond or a small lake there. Stacy gets this idea, checking it out. Xander is there with us, and if you looked at the lake, there was some really thick ice there. I actually eased out onto the thick white ice, and it held me pretty good. My thinking was if it would hold me, it would hold him. So I started trying to talk him into coming out there, and he absolutely refused. Apparently, he was smarter than I was. As I was walking on the thick white ice, I started putting weight down on the thinner ice with my left leg. Well, you already guessed it. It didn't hold me. In the water I went with everything in my pockets. I did the polar plunge a week before anybody else did. That water was cold as crap. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you right now. I ended up hitting my butt on the bottom. I got my legs under me and exploded up. I ended up making a bigger hole coming back up than I did going down. Climbed back up on the thick ice and got out of there. Stacy started trying to help me find some dry clothes. And a guy pulled up in an SUV and said, "You see all these idiots out there walking on the ice?" I said, "Yes, sir. I'm one of them." There I got changed and we left. We rode 19 south through the forest. Would really like to go back in the summertime and explore up there. Beautiful country. We got into Helen and it was absolutely covered up. Looked like a miniature Gatlinburg. Helen is a beautiful little German town. My mom actually drove up and met us there in Helen, which was really nice. That first night, we really didn't do anything but go eat. Stacy wanted to go, and after about a 2-hour wait, we ate at Big Daddy's Grill. That's big with 2 G's. Good food, fun atmosphere. Next day, we walked into downtown Helen. People were shoulder to shoulder everywhere. It was crazy. If you was a germaphobe, you'd have probably had a nervous breakdown. Saw an Estes delivery driver, and I asked him if the crowd was always like this. He looked at me just overwhelmed, looking like a deer in the headlights, and just said, "I've never seen it like this." He said Oktoberfest was usually the biggest time of year there. After we got done walking around, we rode down to Dahlonega. Excuse me. I've butchered that name since the first time I saw it. Dahlonega, Georgia. It's a college town. The University of North Georgia is there. It's an awesome little town. After about a 3-hour wait, we were able to sit down and eat at Shenanigans Restaurant. Great little Irish restaurant. Next morning, Stacy, Xander, Mom, and I went up to Anna Ruby Falls. If you're looking for a beautiful waterfall with paved trails for wheelchair access, you should make the trip. Now, it is uphill, but it's paved and you should be able to get a wheelchair up there, pushing it or have a motorized one. And once you get up there at the top of the mountain, it's very beautiful. I'll be sure to post a picture of it on social media so you can see it. All in all, it was a real good trip. Spent way too much money, but don't we all, whenever we go on vacation? Yeah. On our way back, me and Mom stopped back into Dahlonega. Our plans changed a little bit. We were going to go on up into North Carolina, but we ended up having to just come on back. Was able to sit and watch the playoff games for college football. That was good. Really enjoyed watching TCU beat Michigan. And really enjoyed those dogs pulling one out of their rear end and getting past Ohio State. I did not see that game going that close at all. I honestly figured Georgia would beat them by 2 or 3 touchdowns. That one was pretty exciting. We got the national championship game coming up tomorrow. It's going to be real nice to be able to sit back with no vested interest and just be able to watch a football game and not have to take a blood pressure pill or worry about having a stroke, because my beloved Crimson Tide is not in it this year, as we all know. So, really looking forward to sitting back and watching that game. Now it's time for the Porch Matters food review. Last Saturday, I rode up to Rustic Lodge Works in Hanceville to pick up some wood to finish upgrades on the Porch Matters studio, aka my back porch. Met some awesome folks there, and I have been invited to come back up and have a conversation with them for the show. Great folks, and I'm actually looking forward to going back up and talking to them and actually doing business there again. Afterwards, Mom and I were looking for something to eat, so we rode into Hanceville and found Ray's Pizza across from Wallace State. We decided to give Ray's a shot. Mom ordered a ham and cheese sandwich. I ordered Alfredo Special, which had pepperoni, Italian sausage, ham, bacon, and ground beef. No, I didn't eat the whole thing. Mom had a slice or two. But folks, if you're in driving distance of Hanceville, Ray's Pizza should be on your list of local pizza places in Alabama. Awesome pizza. They also have calzones, meatball and turkey subs, lasagna, spaghetti, different salads, plus they sell ice cream. Ray's Pizza in Hanceville is absolutely #Fatboy approved. I'm very pleased to report that because of you, Porch Matters has surpassed 10,000 downloads. I can't thank you enough for this. This is a huge milestone for this show, and it's all because of you. If you've been sharing the show on social media, I can't say thank you enough. Please continue to do so. If you haven't been sharing it, why not? Come on, help a fat boy out. Thanks to all of you for listening. I've got some big ideas and bigger plans for 2023. One goal is doing a better job of making more time for this show. I've had several guests that have had to reschedule, but we will be back to normal as of now. As I mentioned before, I'm in the process of finishing some upgrades to the porch, hoping to have it finished in the next week or so. Goal for 2023 is for Porch Matters to be on YouTube and Rumble with video content. Be on the lookout for that. That will also include me having to learn how to edit video this year. I got a couple of other plans in mind that I'll share with you later on. But just know that I'm still here. I love and appreciate every single one of you. The ones that have been with me since day one, and the ones that chose this one of all episodes to start with. I beg all of you that are tuning in for the very first time to go back in the archives and actually listen to another one. I am not the greatest podcast host in the world, but I am much better when I have someone to talk to in front of me. Also know I've got some good things coming to you. That's all I have for this episode. No question this time. We will start again next episode. Again, thank you all. Please, please, please share the show with your friends on social media. Pick your favorite episode in the archives and share it with at least one person this week, either on social media or just by word of mouth. Just tell them, hey, you like podcasts? If they ask what a podcast is, just tell them it's like a radio show on the internet. You can tell them the host sounds like a combination of Forrest Gump and John Coffey, and he sure does look good too. Seriously, I love and appreciate all of you, and I'll see you next time right here on Porch Matters. 2023 is going to be a good year.